Join me today as we talk about California on fire, Tim Burkett, the only senator in Congress that's actually doing something. And if you want to prove a point, start flying the old Star Spangled Banner and quit flying your flag. It's fallen on deaf ears. Be proud of America if you want to stay here. Stick around. You just might learn something. Welcome to the Eric T Conversation. I'm Eric T. I haven't done a show for a little bit over a week. My mother passed away last Tuesday, and it's been kind of hitting me really hard, and I miss her a lot. My mom was a fan of my show, even though it's a small show. She always commented on my posts that I did with my clips, and she was real proud of me, and she enjoyed watching some of my content, and it made some of our conversations really interesting. I know you're with my brother Paul. I know Paul met you at those gates, Mom. And I know you're looking down on us, and I hope I continue to make you proud because I'm going to miss you a lot. Here's to you, Mom. Why can't guys dye their hair? We can't. If you say we can, we can't. Because if you are a dude who's got full head of gray hair, you can't turn it brown or black. You can't do it. Why? Because all your buddies will make fun of you as soon as you come in the door. Let's say you're at the gym on Monday and you got gray hair. You come in on Tuesday, you got black hair. All your buddies are going to be like, dude, what the fuck did you just do? What do you think, you're 25 years old? What do you got a girlfriend? Why are you dyeing your hair? You're going to get so much shit for dyeing your hair. That's why guys don't do it. Women can do it all day long. Women can have gray hair and they can dye it, poof, and have red the next day. Nobody says anything except for, oh my God, Sarah, you look wonderful. Your hair looks so good. Why made you do it? Oh, you look 15 years younger. Not guys. You can't do it. You know when you can do it, though? If you move out of town. You move to another town, you can dye your hair another color. Or move out of state. But if you're in the same town, you're stuck. Or when you start going gray, you got to go gradual. You got to keep it in. You got to keep the dye in the whole time. Because as soon as you let it go all the way gray, there ain't no turning back. It's a double standard for guys. We can't do those things. You can say we do, but nobody's going to do it. Because your buddies will make fun of you to the end of time. Every time you come around a corner, you got a little grease coming off your head, and then you got to keep up with it. And no guy wants to keep up with it, especially guys like me that keep their hair real short. It grows out quick, and then you got to constantly get a dye job every week and a half. It's just not worth it. It's like guys can make fun of each other all the time. We can insult each other, and it's normal. I could call one of my friends a big fat piece of shit, and we laugh about it. He's like, I know, I put on some weight. You can't do that if you're a lady. If you're a chick, you can't call them names at all. If you're a guy, you can't do it to them, obviously. But women don't do that. Women don't insult other women. They just don't, because it's real catty. Imagine your girlfriends get together and your girl put on a couple of pounds and you're like, Diane, what happened to you? You were so thin. You're fat as crap right now. They don't do it. Because then someone's going to end up hanging themselves over the insult. But guys don't do that. We laugh our asses off when we're insulted. Guys do it all the time. It's kind of like a thing we do. You can call them a fat ass, a dumb ass, a doofus. You could call them all kinds of names, and we laugh about it, and we move on. It's no big deal. We expect our buddies to make fun of us because it keeps us in check, right? If you're lifting weights and you can't lift it, we go, hey, what are you, pussy? You can't lift that up? Yeah, we do that. Women don't do that. What does a woman say if a woman can't put up that bar on the weights? I'm curious. Women that lift, I'm curious. If you're working out with your girlfriend, okay, and you're both pushing up plates and steel, do you call her a pussy if she can't get the weight up? Or do you insult her like the guys do at the gym? Make a comment. I'm curious if you ladies do that when you're in the gym working out with your girlfriend. If you work out with a girl, a lot of them girls work out with other guys. But if you're working out with your girlfriend, do you insult your girlfriend if she can't get up the weight like us guys do? There are weird things that guys can do and girls can do and guys can do and women can't do and vice versa. And I just find it funny that guys just are not allowed to dye their hair or insult women. Women can insult men. It's perfectly okay. It doesn't hurt our feelings. We kind of laugh it off. We'll drop the weight if a woman does it. But if your buddy calls you fat, re-roll with it. So if you insult your friends, make a comment. Let me know if you do that. And if you guys get a good chuckle out of it, because I find it funny. Well, that's my observation of the day. Now for the conversation. California is burning, and it's burning because Democrats are letting it burn. You got Gavin Newsom just gaslighting the entire situation. He's complaining about the National Guard and the Marine Corps in Camp Pendleton getting sent over there and the Guard getting activated to try to squelch this complete fiasco that's going on in California. I don't understand why California can't get their act together. You know why, California? Because you keep allowing mail-in ballots. And as long as California continues with mail-in ballots, you're going to get the same politicians that don't give a damn about that state or its citizens. That's who you're going to keep getting elected. So until you go to actual paper ballots and voting in person, like a lot of countries do, this is what's going to continue to happen. And they don't care. He likes to blame Donald Trump for all this. Why? Because about 120 illegals are getting sent home. And the left loses the message. They get organized very quickly. They got a lot of money. They got a lot of people that hate our country that are willing to fund all of these organizations. And if you don't think it's being funded, you're completely naive. This is just my opinion, but I'm telling you, they've got a paper trail. They found where a lot of this money's coming from, some billionaires, socialists, and communists that don't like our country that are fueling all of this anarchy. But if you're Mexican American or you're an immigrant and you're over there protesting, understand that they are using you, completely using you for their agenda. They don't care if you stay here or not. They probably prefer you not to stay here, but they're going to do what they got to do to manipulate you to get to completely destroy the United States of America. And that's what they're doing. And what's happening with the left is you guys aren't paying attention. You're losing the message. And you know why you're losing the message? Because you're out there flying a Mexican flag, protesting in a country that's trying to kick you out of the country for being illegal in that said country. So where you're losing it is this. If you really wanted to make your point and you wanted to get a lot more people from the middle and maybe even some from the right to possibly be more sympathetic to what's going on, you should be flying the stars and stripes. You should be waving the American flag. You should have it draped over your shoulders, not burning it in the streets. Because when you burn it in the streets, the rest of America that love this country are tuning you out. And we don't want any part of it, and we want it to stop. And you're sitting there waving another country's flag because you don't want to go back to that country. I saw a video the other day. There was a guy who was, I guess he was a former Marine. He said he was. He had a Marine Corps hat on. He was holding and waving the Mexican flag. He was a first-generation born American, served in the Marine Corps. His parents were from Mexico. I stopped watching the guy. He made no point to me whatsoever. He should have had an American flag waving it high and proud. Said, you know what, I'm an American. And I think everybody that comes to this country should have the same opportunities that my parents did and I had in this country. I would have listened to him. I would have been like, you know what? Maybe he's got a point. But when you're burning the American flag on the ground in protest and waving another country's flag, we are tone deaf to what you're trying to prove. Tone deaf. And the left, who gets very organized, gets a lot of money, they aren't understanding that's their problem. Because it doesn't make any sense. Everybody's saying that. Make it make sense. Help me understand why you're protesting, waving another country's flag. Try doing that in Russia. Try doing that in India. Try doing that in Pakistan. Try doing that in Iraq, Iran, any of these other countries. Try it. See how far it gets you. You'll be in prison faster than you can say ukulele. They don't tolerate that. But we tolerate here because we have freedom of speech. We allow that. This country allows you to do that. Which I did a show a couple of months ago that I really have a problem with that. I personally think burning the American flag should be illegal. It should be a crime to do that unless you're disposing of it properly. But we allow that, freedom of speech. And the country that you're trying to stay into, why? Why are you trying to stay here? If it's so bad and you're protesting, flying your country, go back. Go back to where you're from. It's okay for us if you go back. My family's immigrants. We came here the right way. And every single one of us loves this country. From my uncles to my cousins, we all do. And all of us are proud to fly the Star-Spangled Banner, Old Glory, the American flag, because it means a symbol of peace, freedom, and hope, a better life for your family. That's what it means. But when you're over there in California and you're burning police cars, assaulting law enforcement officers, burning businesses, causing destruction to property. You're holding another country's flag. Right now, they have pallets that are being dropped into the city with concrete blocks right there on the ground for people to grab them and throw them through the windows of immigration enforcement vehicles. I heard a report yesterday from a sheriff that said that a law enforcement officer was killed. They don't know what the circumstances was, but somebody was killed. Law enforcement officers are being shot at. How is that good for anybody? Violence doesn't get you anywhere. It just gets us to turn it off and not listen to you. Like I said, if these people that are protesting illegal immigration want to be heard, start flying the American flag. Be proud to be here. Prove to us that you want to be here. And we might say, you know what? Let's rethink this a little bit. I think you all should go back, though. But you know what? If you do that, you'll get people to be more sympathetic to your cause. Instead, you're alienating a large portion of the United States. Even people on the middle are like, this is insanity. And when you got leadership in these blue states that are fueling this and gaslighting this, you lose it for everybody else. Trump's polling numbers have gone up with his immigration policy. America likes what's going on. Now, they're offering $1,000 per individual if they self-deport. You know what, Trump? Quadruple that. Make it $5,000. Make it $8,000. $10,000. I think it costs between $14,000 and $17,000 per immigrant to send them back to their country. Give them $10,000 to go home. There will be a line wrapped around the United States of people getting out of this country. You'll have people that'll probably say they're illegal just to get the check. Give them the money. Get them out of here. Because at the rate they're going, they're not going to get the people they need. The estimates are between 11 and 20 something million people in here in 4 years. I don't think you understand that. 4 years, that many people came here illegally into this country. It's going to be almost impossible to round them all up and get them out of here. And I think they're starting to realize there needs to be a better solution. And people talking about the National Guard, oh, they don't have water, food, they're sleeping on the ground. Let me tell you, I was in the Guard. I was in the state of Florida with the National Guard. You know how many times I slept on a concrete floor during hurricane season? A lot. That's what you do. That's what you do. You know, we had hurricanes in 2004. I slept on a church floor. I slept outside. I was lucky to get a cot. So for all those people that are complaining about that, that's just what we do. That's what we signed up for, guys. We have no problem with that. And they got food, they got water, they got MRAs. They're well taken care of. But yeah, we sleep on the floor sometimes. That's why you got a poncho liner, right? You got the whoopee. You got a little tiny pillow, field pillow with you in your rucksack. I had all that crap, and I was fine. I used to dose myself a little NyQuil to get a rock hard sleep sometimes because, you know, sleeping on a hard floor, it wasn't very comfortable. But we did that because that's what the job was for. And don't forget, all those service members took an oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That's domestic. And Trump could absolutely activate the National Guard. Now, there's a video of him talking about couldn't activate the Guard. But you know why? Because in Minnesota, Tim Walz didn't want to activate the Guard. And obviously, we remember in 2020, Minnesota was a fireball of hell. And Tim Walz did nothing. He did zero. They wanted it. They wanted anarchy to look bad for Donald Trump. So he passed the buck to the governor, and he said, you know, we can't activate the National Guard. The governor has to request that, which he knew that was not true because the President of the United States, yes, in that oath, it says accept the orders or obey the orders of the officers above you and the President of the United States. So he put them all on Title 10, and now they're federalized, and now he's going to put them to work. And the Marines are coming. By the way, those guardsmen, they're in the Army. If you see a guy that has a Ranger tab on his sleeve, he's nothing. Don't worry about him. He's not scary at all. I wouldn't mess with that guy at all. You should probably get in his face. Maybe you should grapple him a little bit. See if you can get him on the ground. Yeah, that tab, that means like a park ranger or some shit. So enjoy that one if you're out there protesting. Don't forget, those Rangers, just don't worry about those. Oh, the ones that say Special Forces over that Ranger tab too, they didn't mean no harm. So you should go fuck with them a little bit too, because they're just a bunch of pansies. Yeah, bunch of pansies. So be careful. Be careful out there. These are trained military individuals. Don't let them being National Guardsmen think otherwise. Most of them have been in combat. Mostly every unit in the United States has been in combat, served overseas. and they're just waiting to get deployed. The National Guardsmen wait for this kind of shit to happen. Trust me. They're chomping at the bit. They can't wait to put their riot gear on. That's what they, if you want to know what the Guard does on the weekends, that's what we do. We train for riots. We train for natural disasters. We train for war. So to put that in action, they're looking forward to it. So anybody out there in California or some of these other states like New York, I heard they're going to go over there that's trying to protest, be very, very careful. This ain't the old National Guard from the 70s and the 60s that just sat around all day, which they do a lot of that too, but they can't wait for this kind of shit to happen. So be careful. And now we have Congressman Tim Burkett from Tennessee. I think he's the only one working in Congress. He's actually posted on X a lot that everything that they're doing, the bills that they're trying to get over there to codify Donald Trump's executive orders. Because a lot of things Donald Trump had out there, that nothing's happening. So they're creating individual bills to codify all these EOs. And that's good. And he's the only one that seems to be working. He's the only one doing this. I don't hear anything from anybody. Speaker Johnson, he ain't doing jack. I don't know what that guy's up to, but he's not doing anything about it. And they need to get these things done. Because if you start noticing, a lot of the stuff from Donald Trump and Elon Musk, that's gone. Now it's all about California. And the whole Donald Trump, Elon Musk saga, my opinion, I think it was fabricated. I think they did it on purpose. And the reason why, for me, is this. They probably sat down, they talked. These guys really like each other. They respect each other a whole lot. And when Elon Musk went after Donald Trump with the old Epstein file thing, which we all know, he flew on a plane like 7 times. He wasn't at the island. If he had anything to do with the Epstein stuff, it would have came out a long time ago because the Democrats were doing everything they could to stop him from becoming a president. But as soon as he posted that, President Trump didn't go after him. He just said, I wish him well and hope the best. That ain't Donald Trump. Donald Trump would go after the jugular, but he didn't. And I think they did that because Elon Musk needed to get his dealerships back on track. He needed to get back into the graces of some of the people on the left that are causing this havoc. So what do? They went after each other for 48 hours on X. And you know what it did? It took X from a mediocre app, one of the downloaded apps, to the number 1 downloaded app within a day. The Apple Store was the number 1 downloaded app because everyone wanted to see what was going on. That's genius. I remember Megyn Kelly said when she interviewed Donald Trump during the campaign at Mar-a-Lago, and back when he ran in 2016, they had that little feud going on when she did the moderated for the debate. He told her when she was leaving, he said, Megyn, remember, if they're not talking about you, it's never a good thing. And they were talking about Donald Trump and Elon Musk for 2-3 days, almost a week, about that whole blow up between them. I think it was fabricated because 3 days later, all the tweets that they put on each other were deleted. They're deleted for a reason, guys, because they really do care about each other. And it was just for show to get everybody talking about him and maybe get Elon Musk a little more love from the left, which he absolutely did. The Democrats were screaming for the Epstein files. You never heard them start screaming about the Epstein. Now they are, right? It's genius stuff, guys. It's genius stuff. So in the next 6 to 8 months, once all these bills get passed and crypto law happens and the big, beautiful bill, which isn't beautiful, just a big bill, finally gets passed and gets fixed a little bit. Because I think that was another thing he wanted. I think Elon Musk, with a big, beautiful bill, didn't really like it. And I think Trump's name was really tied to it. It wasn't his bill, but it was the things that he was talking to Congress and the Senate about while he was campaigning. But Trump can't come out and say he doesn't like some of the stuff in the bill because he had his name tied to it. He gave it the big, beautiful bill name. So what better way to get it readjusted? Have Elon Musk attack the bill, go after it. So it has to be updated and changed for the provisions in there a little more in line with spending cuts and more tax cuts for the American people. I've seen stranger things than that, but that's why I believe all this happened. Because Donald Trump probably wasn't a fan of some of the things that happened, and he couldn't come out and say he didn't like it because it was his bill. But Elon Musk certainly can do that. He was the Doge guy, right? $160 billion they found. Waste and fraud and abuse. Even more if you count the couple $1 trillion that went off, poof, and nobody found it. By him doing that, got people talk about the bill. Got the Republicans to rethink some of the things that were in it. Some of the spending. Now it's going to get readjusted. I bet you it comes out even better bill now. These guys are playing chess. They're playing chess. And I think they're way ahead of everybody else with all this stuff. So pay attention to things that they're not doing. Because right now, with California burning, They're not talking about Donald Trump and Elon Musk. They're not really talking about the big, beautiful bill while they adjust it and fix it. And it's going to get fixed because Donald Trump learned from 2020 with the riots in Minnesota. And he has nothing to lose by sending the National Guard into California to fix that state, sending the Marine Corps from Camp Pendleton in there to fix that state because he's not running for re-election. And he's going to fix what the Democrats that are running will not do, and they refuse to do. Make law and order happen. And it's going to happen quickly. Democrats, if you want to prove your point, start flying the stars and stripes, baby. Start flying the American flag high and proud. You might get some people to be a little more sympathetic to your causes if you showed pride in the United States of America. Well, that's it for today. Join me next time for a little chit chat, some observation, and some good old fashioned conversation. Thanks.